Hey, welcome to Steal the Show, and this is going to be the first episode of a series of my reviews that are going to be called Were/Are the Critics Right About Insert Movie. In this case, M. Night Shyamalan's new thriller, Split.
What are we doing here? What the hell is going on?
I was sent to get you for a reason.
There's a flower on the pillows, a flower in the bathroom. Like, we're important.
Split stars James McAvoy, Anya Taylor Joy, and Kira Sedgwick, and it currently sits at a solid 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. The critics' consensus calls Split a tour de force for James McAvoy and a return to form for M. Night Shyamalan. Tour de force. No, that's wrong.
Sorry, I don't see it.
Alright, tour de force, an impressive performance or achievement that has been accomplished or managed with great skill. So basically the plot to this movie is James McAvoy has 23 different personalities, and one of them has decided it's a good idea to kidnap these 3 girls and hold them hostage. So James McAvoy is given a tough job. He's forced to play 23 different roles in this movie. 24 actually. At the end of the movie, the 24th role, the Beast, appears. He does a phenomenal job. With each character you can tell it's a different character. Even when he's just standing there looking at his facial expressions, you can tell when he's shifting in between characters. There's a point in this movie where he does that with at least 4 or 5 characters shifting back and forth just through his facial expressions and his tone, and it's done so well. Honestly, give the man an Oscar. This was one of my most highly anticipated movies of 2017 for good reason. I think that M. Night Shyamalan has had a return to form for this movie. If you know anything about M. Night Shyamalan, you know that his movies used to all carry twists. Some of the newer ones have not. Said newer ones tend to be bad. However, with last year's The Visit getting quite a bit of notice and people enjoyed it, and now this year's Split getting a lot of notice and a lot of enjoyment, it seems he has finally returned to form. And that's great, because I'm a huge fan of classic Shyamalon. I love Sixth Sense, I love Signs, and I love The Unbreakable. And I loved this movie as well. Aside from the 3 girl actors who weren't very impressive, you'll recognize Kira Sedgwick from Edge of 17, and you'll recognize Anya Taylor Joy from Morgan or The Witch. I thought that Anya Taylor Joy, the main character other than McAvoy in this movie, she did an okay job. In Morgan, she's supposed to be this kind of reserved, sort of, well, she's not a regular human being. But in this movie, she's given kind of the old Shyamalon treatment where you're just supposed to be a quiet, mellow character, and that's all there is to you. And I don't think it works too well, especially not side by side with McAvoy's insane personality jumping. There's also an old lady in this film, played by Buckley, who gives a really good performance. Like, surprisingly good. First of all, I didn't even know she was a character in the movie. I don't think she appeared in any of the trailers. And second of all, it's impressive that she turned out to be such a good performance, because you would think everyone would be overshadowed by McAvoy the way the girls were, but for her, she had a good, solid character, and I really felt for her. The twist at the end of this movie is a doozy. It blew my mind, but I must have been one of the only people in the theater to fully understand what was going on. That's something that M. Night Shyamalan really took a risk on. He trusts that his audience is going to know what he's talking about, and if you don't, you're going to be a little bit left out. But if you do, like me, you're going to have a phenomenal time with this twist at the end. I'm not going to spoil anything, but just know that it's a good one. Otherwise, I thought the movie had a really creepy atmosphere. When the Beast appears and starts chasing people around, he's pretty scary, pretty terrifying. There's a good twist, some good explanations for how everything works. Really interesting character backstories that I actually want to watch the movie again just to see if I pick up on those. Overall, this film was really good, except for the acting by the girls, which I think does hurt it a little bit, and the story can be confusing at times. But I think with the 73% it got on Rotten Tomatoes, I really do think that that is spot on. Personally, I maybe would have rated it a little higher, but I can see where critics found the faults, and I fully agree. The critics got Split right. So that's been Split. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm going to do a spoiler talk on this soon. I really want to talk about the spoilers, so wait for that. Don't watch it if you haven't seen Split yet. And as usual, remember, steal the show.
Don't worry. He's not allowed to touch you. He knows what you're here for. He listens to me. My name's Hedwig.
How old are you?
9.
I'm
never seen a case like this before. 23 identities live in Kevin's body.